Hi, Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense here on YouTube. Today I want to talk a little bit about the Arizona audit and the upcoming Pennsylvania audit and other audits that may be done, and discuss not so much the outcome of those audits, but the potential remedies that may be available at the conclusion thereof. So stay tuned. One of the things that I hear frequently from clients and from neutral observers is that the law doesn't make sense. Well, I believe Charles Dickens once said that if that's what the law requires, then the law is an ass. And indeed, in many instances, the law can be a little bit of an ass, in that although the law says all the right things, when it gets down to brass tacks, a lot of times the law can't do the right things. One of the principles of our founding fathers was that no right should be without a remedy. So if you are stripped of your right of First Amendment free expression, you should have a remedy in the courts for that. And indeed, the courts have been generally very, very good at protecting people's First Amendment rights. They haven't been quite so good on the Second Amendment, but certainly with the Fourth Amendment and the Fifth Amendment, they have given generally very good protection to those rights and made them something that, at least as far as prosecution goes, are difficult hurdles to overcome. Now, in the last 20 years, some of those protections have been weakened under the Fourth Amendment, but the current court seems interested in protecting people's right to be free and right to be secure in their papers and private homes. So I guess we'll see how that goes. But one of the things that I have seen on YouTube are all kinds of statements, sometimes labeled as prophecies, that the audits are going to come out, that the election is going to be overturned, and that President Trump will be reinstated. I hate to disabuse you of this notion, but that is not going to happen. As much as many people would like it to happen, as much as many people probably think it should happen, there is no way to uninaugurate a president once they have been inaugurated. There is no way to decertify an election once the electors have cast their votes and those votes have been counted in the Senate. That just doesn't happen. There's no way for it to happen. The Constitution is what the Constitution is, and it says what it says, and it doesn't give any kind of do-over precedent to allow somebody to challenge a duly elected president 9 months into their term. Now, that doesn't mean that the public is without remedies. There are remedies through impeachment, although if you impeach the president, you get the vice president, and if you impeach the vice president, you get the Speaker of the House, and so much and so forth. And as a result, the end result of all of this is that at the end of the day, you wind up with the same group of people in charge through impeachment. So that doesn't do you much good. That's really the only remedy that is available when someone is elected through fraudulent means, is through impeachment. And again, it doesn't provide a very suitable remedy. Now, at the time of the founding, the president was elected by the most votes, by the most electoral votes, and the person who got the second greatest number of electoral votes was the vice president. That changed later on, and now we elect them both together. And as a result, removing the president doesn't do you any good whatsoever in a situation where the vice president is of the same party. And universally now, the vice president is always of the same party. So I think it's important to understand that, at least as far as what the Constitution says, We are definitely going to have the same president and vice president for the next 4 years unless something tragic happens. And of course, we all pray for the continued good health of both our president and vice president and our Congress. No matter how angry someone gets, no matter how inflamed their passions about what happened in 2020 and the 2020 election, there is no excuse for violating our Constitution and resorting to violence in order to take matters into your own hands. That should never happen. And if we respect the rule of law, then we know that it can't happen. So what remedies are available? Let's talk about one. In most states, recall elections are one way that the Senate votes could potentially be recast. For example, in Georgia and Arizona, where there have been allegations of fraud and essentially suggesting, at least in Arizona, that 74,000 ballots were cast that were not requested. If you give that any credence whatsoever, then there is certainly a possibility that a change of 74,000 votes might very well affect the outcome of the election. And as a result, the margin in that election was only 10,000 votes. So assuming that the margin is similar for the senatorial races, then certainly a revote, a recall election to replace the two senators who were elected in that manner, gives you the opportunity to, at least with respect to those senatorial races, change the outcome of the 2020 election. But a recall election is a very significant effort. It's very costly. It demands a lot of cooperation from the branches of government that do not seem interested in assisting with that. And as a result, it tends to be a right without a remedy. The same thing in Georgia. While there is certainly a groundswell of support for a recall election with respect to two of the senators that were elected there, it is unlikely, at least at this point, without more evidence, that such a recall would occur. But unfortunately, a recall is the only path for those elections because senators are elected under state law, and state election law allows for a recall election. Indeed, there was some talk about having a recall election for Mitt Romney, something that I certainly support because I don't believe that he is anything like a Republican, and I don't believe he's anything like a Democrat. I'm not really sure what he is. Irrespective of my personal view of Mitt Romney, there really is a very difficult path to getting a recall election done. So it's a bit of a right without a remedy. Again, I hate disabusing people of the hope that they could rid themselves of a government that they don't believe represents them. But the fact of the matter is, we live in a constitutional republic and we respect those laws. It is wrong to assert or advocate for violence against the government. And in many respects, it may be criminal as well. So that's not a path for serious people who seriously want to change the government. The way to change the government is to use the procedures that are in place. It is my fond hope that this explanation has been of some value to people who may be interested in how the election came out and what happened. If you found this interesting or helpful, I would appreciate it if you would smash that like button for me. And if you have not already, go over here and press the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. We try to release videos at least 2 a week. There may be some lapse in those in the next couple of weeks because I have to do some traveling. So again, I appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and perhaps leave a comment down below so I would know how you're thinking, how you're feeling about this. And it's okay to disagree with me. Please feel free to do that. However, keep it respectful. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you have a terrific day, and I'll catch you next time on here.